Hey everybody, it's your girl Bondy Blue, and I want you to check out Bondy's Boutique and get some of my merch, y'all. I've added some new things like my mermaid cups and the mermaid tees, and also the Shake Them Tits mugs. All right, you asked for it and you got it. Check out Bondy's merch at Bondy's Boutique. Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl Bondy Blue, and I am back for another marriage boot camp hip-hop edition video. Okay, I'm hungry and I got another video to get done after this. So baby, we ain't about to waste no time. We ain't about to diddy or daddle or whatever the fuck they call it. Okay, diddle dilly dally, diddle daddle, okay, whatever. So the episode started off where the last one left off, which was with Carl having a whole conniption, flipping the fuck out, because Dr. Ish and Dr. V done sat him and Mo down to tell her about his philandering activities after midnight. Okay, his FaceTime and hoes after midnight. Him forgetting that they got about 30 some more cameras up in his damn house. All right, I don't know, and audio. I don't know why you thought wasn't nobody gonna hear or see what you was talking about. He got all upset, okay, getting all mad at Dr. Ish and shit, because Dr. Ish was like letting it be known. Say, bro, this after midnight. Like, who the fuck you on the phone with after midnight? Because he admitted that he lied, that it wasn't his sister. But it's like, if it wasn't your sister, then who you calling after midnight, my nigga? Be real. Talk to us, all right? He gonna get mad. You gonna stop instigating shit. Puffy. This is not Dr. Ish's fault. He's not instigating a damn thing. You signed up to be on camera and mic at all times, baby. Okay? You signed up for that. So you can't now get upset at the fact that you done some dumb shit on camera and it was caught. And this is marriage boot camp. So why would we not talk about you possibly cheating on Lil Mo, which has been the issue throughout your whole relationship? The whole reason why we here is because your ass don't know how to keep your penis in your pants and not dip out on your wife. Okay, that's the whole reason why we here. So for him to sit up there and get mad and try to blame everybody, but don't want to answer a little more questions, and then get irate and get up and walk off because he finished, he ain't got no more talk. Like, obviously, my nigga, you ain't got no more talk. Okay, obviously you don't have nothing to say. So he goes in a living room and sleeps on the other half of the sectional with Soulja Boy, who is on punishment. Lil Mo goes upstairs to the bedroom and goes to bed. Okay, after she done seen the video and talked to the rest of the people about it, she told Dime, Sean, Tiffany, and Soulja about the shit. And even Soulja was in that bitch shaking his head like, nigga, you really act like you couldn't have that conversation in the bathroom, my nigga? Like, where they ain't got no cameras, those stupid ass niggas sitting up there chomping down on some fucking cereal. Like, nigga, we seen you. We heard you. Why are you acting like that's my personal business? Nigga, all of this is your personal business. What is wrong with you? All of your excuses and reasoning, it's all bullshit to me. And the fact that you couldn't even think of anything smarter just shows how dumb you are, okay? So like I said, after she done told everybody, she go to bed. Around 3 a.m., she wake up and realize he ain't come and got in the bed with her. So she put on some clothes because she was ass naked. And I'm like, Lil Mo, you ain't at home. They got cameras in that room. Why is you sleep ass naked, baby? I don't understand. Like, I at least would have had on a beater and some panties. But who the fuck going to sleep ass naked in the bed in the house where they got cameras in the room? Like, y'all, they tried to blur it, but I feel like we saw all of the nipple. Okay, we saw the nipple, baby. Okay, look, she get up, put something on, go downstairs. What you doing? Come upstairs. So she bring his ass upstairs, and it's 3 a.m., but she up now, so she want answers to her questions. Who was you on the FaceTime with, nigga? And he don't want to answer none of the questions. He just puts the pillow over his head and act like he going to sleep. Shall I guess? I guess she was going to sleep. I don't know why he refuses to answer her questions as if they're going to die down just because he's ignoring them. But we didn't know that he's obviously done this before, and Lil Mo was going to give up. All right? So the next morning, Soulja tells Nia, he comes back up to the room to roll his morning joint, okay? And he like, you know, Nia, you good? And she was like, how you doing? You know, I'm worried about you. And she in a confessional, you know, I really don't want him to be hurt. And I'm like, yeah, bitch, sometimes. Sometimes you care just like sometimes he care. But I think we starting to realize that more now than ever, it takes two people to fuck up a relationship. And even though Soulja can take about a good 75% of the blame for the issues in their relationship, Nia needs to take the 25 of being somebody who is incapable of giving him the type of love and affection he needs. Not that he would even know good enough to go look for a woman who actually would have the capability of giving him that. Okay, I think he attracts what he got out of life. And I told y'all I didn't know who was raising Soldier, but they didn't. Okay, I don't know how his mama in his life now, but he obviously has mommy issues with the way he disrespects and treats women, and it all came out in the wash today, y'all. It all came out in the wash, all right? But in Nia and Soldier's conversation, she asked if they leave the house not together, can they be friends? And he was like, no, why the fuck would I do that? Friends? Friends? Why would I do that? That didn't make no sense to me. He feels like he can really change. He just wants her to try to work with him and forgive him and try to go through this bullshit with him again. I think that too much damage has been done, and Nia, I don't blame you for that, okay? You should have left that nigga years ago. You should have left that nigga when he got online and talk about the smell of your vagina, bitch. That's about the time where I start fucking with a nigga like, really? Really, my nigga? For everybody to see in here? Oh, you ain't shit. You ain't shit. I heard he pulled the gun on her, which is why they got kicked off of Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. But you know, let's move on. So y'all, it's the next morning and Mo is trying to talk to Carl yet again. She trying to have the conversation in the bathroom, but he don't want to answer no questions, so he keep walking out the bathroom, right? And they go back into the bathroom. He's like, no, I want to know who you was on the phone with. But then you hear her say, don't push me. So he must have pushed her or some shit like that. So then he walks out the bathroom and she's standing in the doorway and he pushes the door as if to try to close the door on her. And I was like, you may not be, you know, smarter than the average 5th grader or nothing like that, but something tells me that he was restraining himself, and that, I don't know, but I feel like the way he handled her in that situation, I wonder if he didn't put his hands on her more than what we saw. Because the energy he was giving off was that he probably has put his hands on her in arguments or something like that. But Lil Mo is constantly forgiving niggas, okay? She told Dr. Ish and Dr. V that if they wasn't together, the reason why she dealt with it was because if she let him go, he would get killed or get put in jail. And I'm like, he a grown-ass man, bitch. If that's what his life is supposed to be, that's what his life is supposed to be. It ain't your job to be out here saving grown-ass men from inevitabilities from the fact that they can't get their shit together. Like, I really don't think that he would be dead or in jail. Like, I don't know what Carl is doing for a living, but if he's just boxing, death can come to him anyway, okay? But you trying to take responsibility for this nigga in such a way just makes me mad with Mo, because I feel like Mo let the ball drop with this nigga. Like, he was dead ass wrong. He puts a towel over the camera, which made me even more nervous about what he might do with her. But then he turned around and you know, look, bro, what you want from me? What you want from me? So Mo says, I want you to tell me what's going on. You told me everything else so I wouldn't be blindsided when we got in this house. But right now, nigga feeling blindsided. I need you to be honest with me so I can know what I'm fighting for. So I can know when they say things. And you know what? That brought me to the Breakfast Club interview, where they sat up there and made it seem like the producers and the people on the show try to make it seem like it's something that it's not. Let me tell you something, Mo. We all saw that camera footage. We all heard that conversation. Ain't nobody make him do shit. Ain't nobody doctored nothing. He was already cheating on you all the time, and it was obvious that he's still cheating on you, and he probably still cheating on your ass to this day. And you Lil Mo, Cynthia. So it just bothers me that you don't have the confidence in yourself as a grown-ass woman to walk away from a nigga that's dogging you out like that. After she done switched her whole tone of voice, and then he kisses her, and then, you know, it's all over now. It's all over now. And he ain't even answered your question, bitch. You ain't got to the bottom of a goddamn thing. But it's all cool now, because you done told him that you out here trying to fight for him and trying to fight for us, and she gonna tell him, you know, you just tell me and I'll stop loving you. If you want me to stop loving you, just tell me. Bitch, a nigga ain't gonna never tell you that they want you to stop loving them. A nigga always gonna want you to care about them. Even when they don't want your ass no more, they gonna always want you to be running up behind they stinking cheating ass. That's just the way some niggas are, and that's the way Carl is. So the doctors get everybody together in the room so they can tell them what today's exercises are going to be. And before they can even get it out, Tiffany is crying and tearing up. And I'm like, oh no, Jesus, what's going on right here? And basically the day is about to be about their childhoods. And it's also one of my favorite days that they do as a childhood day, because they'll get a child that, you know, kind of similar to you in some type of way to come out and tell your story to you. Because sometimes as an adult, after we've been through it so much, we've normalized it in our mind and made it seem like it's not a big deal. But when you see those same words coming from a child, then you understand how fucked up it really is, okay? So Tiffany says that her childhood was so terrible, she don't really want to go back there. And Dr. Ish tells her the fact that you still crying about it and we haven't even delved into anything lets us know that you need to deal with this, okay? Whether you want to or not, you need to deal with it. So the first exercise was for everybody to split up into 2 groups and go outside and spray paint on a big wall. 1 good thing that happened and 2 negative things that happened in their childhood, okay? Now, Tiffany already told y'all she ain't had no positive things, no good things in her childhood, so her shit was all negative. I'm gonna read what they had saved from my notes, all right? Hold up, let me get the glasses because a bitch can't see. You know, when I get to this level of being tired, I can't see nothing. So, Fiz's happy moment, because he grew up in such poverty, being so poor with just his mom after his dad left, he made a list for Christmas and he had no expectations of getting anything on that list, and he got everything that was on that list. So that was his happy moment. Then we get to Soldier, and Soldier's happy moment was when he went fishing with his daddy, and it was just him and his daddy, and it was just the best day ever for him, and you could just see him smiling just even thinking about the shit. Okay, then we get to Waka. Waka didn't really have any positives, but Waka has normalized his dysfunction to the fact that this shit don't even bother him. Like him and I think Sean were the only 2 people that didn't cry at all. And I think it's because it's something that they didn't bury so deep within themselves, and after years of being told that they shouldn't cry and feeling like they shouldn't cry, they don't know how to let it go. And I don't know if Waka and Sean, but Waka especially, will ever really heal from all the shit he done been through if he can't bring it up enough to cry and let it go. It's all under the surface, you know, being covered up by whatever he doing to soothe himself. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's smoking or drinking or fucking, all of it is being used to cover up that inside pain. But Waka said he lost 22 people as a teenager, including his little brother, who was killed by a white man, and the white man never went to jail. They just threw his family a check. So it showed him that people could hurt him and hurt his family and get away with it. We all as black people have learned that lesson one way or another. Maybe not in such serious situation, but we've all learned that as black people, a white person can do something to us and totally get away with it, not have any of the same consequences as a black person. So nowadays, when we draw these correlations and people want to tell us to stop, it's like, motherfuck, I wish the fuck I would. I was watching a Funky Dineva video and somebody else was mad because I drew a correlation between how they were so quick to arrest Jussie, but you don't see any real arrests happen to the women and men who call police on black people all the time for no fucking reason. That's the use of resources as well. You know what I mean? But because, and some people was like, oh, you know, filing a report and calling the police is 2 different things. I'm like, bitch, I be damned. I be damned. The person who it happens to feels the same way. Okay, the person who it happens to has to be afraid of their life and, you know, afraid for their life just in case the wrong cops show up having a bad fucking day. Okay, so at the end of the day, the consequences can be just as dire, whether it's a police report being filed or the police just being called to a scene. So I think that's just such a fucking ridiculous thing, and I don't understand why we can't keep drawing these correlations, because as long as we're drawing these correlations, we need people to recognize that the scale is unequal, because some stupid ass black people, okay, some of which are on my Twitter, believe just because they don't see racism in their everyday life that it's not happening. Which I think is so fucking ridiculous. Like, the laws, bitch, the laws within themselves don't protect you in the same manner. Yet, because you have white friends, you feel like racism doesn't exist. Bitch, if you don't go to bed and get the fuck up out my mentions, okay? But anyway, y'all, like I said, back to Waka. Waka's little brother was killed by a white man, just threw money at it, nothing was ever done. We also know that Waka's little brother killed himself, what that was, in 2015 or something like that. So Waka continues to lose people in his life in such a way that I imagine is very deeply wounding for him. So we get to Nia. We find out that Nia was raped as a child by another boy who pulled she went into the bathroom, he went into the bathroom behind her and turned off the lights and locked the door. And took her virginity from her. And because of that, she has never felt safe with anybody. She doesn't trust anybody. She doesn't want to be touched by some people. Like, she is just very closed off and has created a wall because of that. She also has had issues with her mom, always going from man to man. And when she goes from man to man, they have to go from home to home. So she's never had any real stability in her life, which is probably why she doesn't know what to ask for from a man and ends up with a nigga like Soulja and continues to take the abuse from him, because she doesn't know what to expect that's supposed to be positive, except for good dick and some money. Like, I'm gonna just tell you, everybody knows that Teddy Riley is not her dad. But I believe, and I could be wrong, but he's not her biological father, but she has his last name, and I believe it's because Teddy felt bad for that woman's kids and felt like, hey, if they got my name, I got money, I love them, I didn't, you know, grew to love them and be in their life. As long as, you know, I'm alive, they gonna be taken care of, since the mama don't know what the fuck she doing, moving from nigga to nigga to nigga. Okay, now whether he was a womanizer or not, that was still an example of somebody who didn't know how to treat women, but still tried to take care of the kids in one way or another. But people don't realize sometimes it's not about you know, what you try to do about the kids, or even what you say. It's about your actions and how you treat people in front of those kids. Okay, so yeah, y'all, Nia has a whole bunch of shit as to why she ended up with fuckboy Soulja. But Soulja Boy, and the reason why he is a sad fuckboy, when he was a kid, his parents split up and he was made to choose which one he wanted to go and live with. Being a boy, I'm sure he wanted to go and live with his daddy, because him and his daddy did things together he liked, like fishing and stuff like that. Whereas your mom might be a nurturer, and up to a certain point you might feel like you don't need or want that nurturing, but you don't know that you still need it. You a fucking child. But after they split up, he never really had a relationship with his mama like that. His mama wasn't really in his life. And when I tell y'all the tears that started to stream down that boy's face, let me know that his mama didn't do right by him in a way. Even though she's there now, okay, she's there now. She wasn't there when he was growing up, which made him feel abandoned by a woman, which is why he tries so hard to hold on to Nia and don't want to let her go. And because he didn't have control but had to deal with the consequences of his parents splitting up, he now feels like he tries to control everything through all costs. That's why he overreacts to situations. That's also why he has so much aggression towards women but not towards men, because his daddy was there. He loved his daddy and he felt like his daddy, you know, was there for him in his life, but his mama was absent. So he has been absent. I mean, he's been not having the love and affection and nurturing that a mother is supposed to provide for a child. So that is why Soulja is the way he is. So you group that with the type of parenting that Nia had, and that's just gonna be a recipe for fucked upness. Okay, I'm just glad they ain't never procreated and had a child together. All right, but when he cried, y'all, that had everybody feeling some type of way. All the women who was out there, who that was, Dime and Tiffany, and no, not Tiffany, it was Dime, Tammy, and Lil Mo. All had to like go around him and hug him, because it's so funny. I feel like Soulja really does have this piece of himself that is likable. I don't understand where it comes from, but every now and again there is a moment where you just want to get a little frail nigga a hug. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, bruh. And I think in some ways, because Nia is so cold to him, that is why he attracted Nia. And because Nia is so used to not having a father in her life for real, and in the father examples that she did have being womanizing, she's attracted herself to Soulja. See how the negative things in both of their childhoods have made them attracted to each other, which is why they will have, you know, this tumultuous relationship for this long, because that's all they know. So yeah, next thing, Tammy. Tammy has had to create this hard surface and this tough exterior because she has to see herself as strong, like a lot of black women, because of the shit that she done been through. Okay, when Tammy turned 12 years old, she going outside with her uncle who say he had some money for her, go to the car, and somebody roll up behind her uncle and blow his brains out in front of her face. After that, she lost a brother, she lost a cousin, and then just on and on and on and on. So she and Waka have that in common, that throughout their lives they have lost so many people at young ages, and because it's become normalized, they've never really been able to deal with it. And in the hood, they don't want boys crying, to the point where shit, they don't even want girls crying. You're supposed to suck that shit up and keep going. And that's how we learn how to deal with things, is not to deal with them at all. It's to bury them and keep going until we get into our adult years and realize that the shit has been eating us from the inside out. Okay? Like, it was just really sad to watch them go through all of this. And Sean didn't cry, but Sean was emotional, and I felt like was probably, you know, had that lump in his throat when he was talking about his brother. Now, they grew up poor, and everybody was kind of counting on him and his brother, which I feel like is a fail of the parents in some type of way. That y'all knew that the brother was robbing people, and y'all thought that shit was okay as long as he was bringing the money home to y'all. The fact that he felt the need to put himself in danger in order to supply a lifestyle, money, food for y'all makes me want to look at the parents like, what the fuck was y'all doing, okay? Like, I'm just saying, y'all, the way Sean described it, it made me feel like they knew what was going on and they was cool with it because they needed the money. And I don't think that's right. I don't think it's okay for you to put your child's life and their future in danger for momentary gain, okay? So as soon as Sean made his commitment to the school he was going to go to the college he was going to go to, his brother got killed by a man who he was robbing. And just like that, all of the sacrifices that Sean was trying to make to get his brother into a better space became kind of null and void. And yeah, he still had to do it for his family, but he never got a chance to do it for his brother because his brother was gone. And I just think that in some place, you gotta hold your people responsible for that, because they knew and they didn't care because he was bringing home money. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all, that's terrible to me. That's so terrible. And Sean ain't really crying about that shit, but it's obvious that Sean wears that on him, like that weight of that situation, the weight of that responsibility on him. Moving on to Dime, y'all. So Dime says that one day, you know, her daddy used to come back and forth in the house a lot, I guess. And one day she was like begging him, "Daddy, please don't leave, please don't leave." And he left anyway. And when he left, it left Dime feeling like there was something else out there that was more important than she was. And because of that, in her relationship, and y'all, I read this, I may not have been reading it completely right because I didn't know, but I read, you know, I read from her that she don't fight and she don't argue when she wants to because she's scared that the nigga gonna leave her. And that comes from her fear of the situation with her daddy. Her daddy left her, so now she feels like, I can't put up a fight, I can't put up an argument with a man, because if I do, the nigga gonna leave me. Because that's what her daddy taught her. And you know, people don't realize the damage they be doing to their kids. And everybody that think the shit that happened to them as children doesn't affect them as they get older, you are sadly mistaken, my love. Okay, sadly mistaken. We get to Carl. And Carl didn't normalize this shit to the point where at this moment he didn't cry. He didn't cry at this moment when he talked about his cousin brains being blown out in front of his face as well. You know, I guess they was outside playing or some shit, nigga rolled up, shot the cousin in the head, brains all over the place, and he watched his cousin die. Y'all, that's crazy how much that happens to people. How much that happens to kids. That shit happened to Bobby Brown, remember? Like, it didn't happen to Tammy. It probably didn't happen to Waka. Waka didn't talk about it, but you can imagine some of the things that have happened to Waka, because Waka ain't really even talking about all the shit that didn't happen to him. He don't even want to dig that deep. He just, you know, layer over the shit like it didn't happen. And then we talked to Mo. So not only was Mo bullied in school, but Mo was molested by a man in the neighborhood when she was a kid. And because she felt the need to protect her daddy, who was a hothead and who was crazy, he loved her so much, she knew that if she told him, her daddy would go to jail for killing a nigga, or he would get killed in the process or after the fact or whatever. But she did not tell anybody about that for fear of what would happen to her daddy, so she was trying to protect him. The same story she told when it came to Carl's ass about why she didn't leave him, because she's scared he might be, you know, end up dead or in jail. And what she has to realize is you gotta stop sacrificing yourself for other people and the decisions that they decide to make. You were supposed to tell somebody, and your daddy was supposed to handle that shit to the best of his capability without going to jail and leaving you without a father, or getting himself killed and still leaving you without a father. You know what I'm saying? But to not tell him at all and then carry that weight on yourself as a child, I just feel so bad that she felt that she had to do that in the first place, y'all. Like, the shit is sad. So, you know, then we get into some other stuff. So Fizz. Y'all, Fizz didn't want to be a singer. Fizz wanted to play basketball. That was his dream. So play ball and get big playing ball. But as soon as he was on the basketball team, B2K got signed. So he had to stop playing ball and get in a group. And then what happens next? The group disbands and it ends, and now he done gave up his dream and a time he would have used playing ball, playing high school ball, playing college ball. Now all of that time has been wasted in a group that is now disbanded. And the way he started crying about the fact that he got all these people he got to take care of, but he got to take care of them doing something that he don't really love. And I felt bad for him, y'all. I really did. On top of the fact that his daddy was supposed to be in his life, but he wasn't really. So he's dealing with the disappointment of his own decisions, dealing with abandonment, dealing with the poverty in his family, making him feel like he had to make certain decisions to take care of them. And then also feeling like because he didn't get his dream the way he wanted it, that he can't love himself. And you can see that on Fizz. Like Fizz smokes a lot and doesn't want to deal with emotions because they got a lot of shit he got up under that's bubbling. And therapy only does so much, you know, especially this type of therapy. But he was crying his ass off. So yeah, then we get to Tiffany. And Tiffany, you know, had, I would say, like one of the most fucked up parenting situations. Her mom was in an abusive relationship. This man was so abusive to the point that he would lock her and her brother in a closet, and the mama would have to crawl to come and get them out of the closet. He threw her and her mama out of a moving car because he wanted them to die. Said that to them, okay? So then Tiffany grows up and gets in nothing but abusive relationships. She says the only relationship that wasn't abusive, and I don't even think we're talking about her situation with Drew, is her relationship with her baby daddy. That's the only person who didn't abuse her. And she don't trust men. And she also probably walks around with a lot of anger because of what was done to her and what was allowed to be done to her. And I don't know where her mama at, but she needs to talk to her mama about that shit. Because I know she probably feel like her mama is responsible for fucking up her childhood. She said, I can't even remember a good moment. There wasn't no birthdays. There wasn't no holidays. It was just all fighting and fussing and abuse. And I feel like, oh my God, and y'all wonder why that girl always got a fucking boot in her mouth. Like, how is she supposed to be some happy person when it's not something she was taught? It's not something that was instilled in her at all. You know what was instilled in her? Anger and fear. And that was it. So the fact that Tiffany can even be a halfway decent human being is a fucking blessing, and probably a teller of the fact that she persevered more than anything else. So I'm gonna lay up off Tiffany. Like, I don't know why, but marriage boot camp that made me like Tiffany. I don't know what the fuck happened. So y'all, after everything, everybody, you know, break to go get something to eat. And you can hear Waka and Sean talking about how, you know, we don't cry. Like, niggas don't grow up crying and all of that. And Waka was like, shit, it's too late for me. It's too late for me to cry about this shit. And I'm like, Waka, you ain't dead, so it ain't never too late. You need to go to therapy. I don't know if you ever considered that, but I really do think that Waka need to go to therapy and deal with some of that shit that he done went through, unpack some of that shit. He even talked about how being in his family, you know, you always had to take care of everybody, always had to look out for everybody else. And I imagine that's because Dad was, you know, up to no good originally. Okay, like, let me tell you something. I don't know about y'all, but how many stereotypical situations have you seen where a woman is a manager, but before that she was pimping niggas out or some shit like that, or pimping women out, or selling drugs, or doing something, but before they get to the music industry, there was some type of salacious activity going on, okay? It happened on Temptations. I can't think of nothing else right now, but damn it, okay? Like, it just... Child, there was somebody else. There was somebody else on something else. I just can't remember right now. Just somebody's face is coming into my mind who I was like, ooh, they did you dirty. I can't remember right now, y'all. Somebody will comment down below besides the Temptations or women managers that was up to no good. Not to say that Deb is up to no good now. I feel like Deb has probably done a lot of growth for herself. But you can tell their family was probably like a notorious family wherever they was. And it wasn't for doing no good shit. I'm just going to say that. Move on, because I love Deb and them. All right? So y'all, then they have the kids come out, and when the kids come out to reiterate the stories they've told, you know, Tiffany is just boohoo crying, and Fizz is comforting her. But the kids were so cute, I believe, to a level where it was making a lot of them emotional, but also like, oh my God, look how cute. Like, like it was just a crazy situation that was going on. And you know, I'm not gonna go back over it because I feel like I've talked about everything. But the only thing that I want to mention was that, for one, Waka felt like his childhood was stolen from him. And when the kids started, Carl's child version started to talk about his cousin being killed in front of him, Carl bust out in like the most ridiculous tears. Like you could tell he was holding that shit in. Because when that little kid stood up there and said that shit, it was just like red face. Like you could just tell everything came flooding out. And I feel bad for them, the children in them, that had to deal with such horrific things that adults don't even, you know how to deal with or get past. And as a child, having such a fragile mind and a fragile spirit, and having that being fucked up either by circumstances of being a black person living in the hood or being a person living in the hood, period. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not like this shit don't happen to, you know, Mexican, Latino, and white people who live in disenfranchised, poor, you know, uncared for neighborhoods. It happens, period. Wherever there's crime, you know, somebody's child, white, black, indifferent, are going to suffer. And I feel so bad for them, and I feel bad that they weren't able to be protected, especially Waka, because I feel like there's still a kid in Waka. Like Waka is like living out what he wanted to be. I feel like the kidness in him is what he does now because he couldn't do it then. And you know, like when I see him being so playful and all of that, I feel like that's him trying to allow the kid in him to come out, because it didn't get a chance to come out when he actually was a kid. Y'all, that shit's so sad. You know, like I said, everybody goes through everything. Everybody cries. We, you know, talk about how Cynthia created Lil Mo as a protection, as a barrier to deal with the issues that she had, because she couldn't tell her father what was going on with her. And, you know, about Soulja wanting to control everything, and on and on and on and on. So after, Tammy talks about it at the table, because everybody goes back, you know, to get some drinks, because it's been a long day of crying and, you know, emotionalness. So we're going to get some alcohol in our system, all right? And Tammy says, I was sexually assaulted, or I was raped, and I didn't even know that I was being raped until I got older and looked at my daughter and was like, I would lose my shit if somebody did that to my daughter. And it's crazy how, as you know, young, because people don't realize, like, your brain ain't fully formed when you 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Okay, like probably until you're 24 years old, you're still dealing with the mind of a teenager. And that mind doesn't really understand everything the way people think it should. Even when they've had to grow up fast, you still don't understand and have the same gravity in your mind and in your spirit that you do once you get older and you've dealt with things and your brain is actually caught up to what's happened to you in your life. But some people are caught in an area where they've just regressed. Like, I think Carl is at a place where he can't grow past being a teenager because so much shit happened that the growth never took place. Physically, he grew up, but emotionally and mentally, I don't think he did. Okay? I just really don't. So, y'all, everybody goes to bed that night. And I thought it was so funny how, you know, what they show us is Nia and Fizz being outside, and she like, so how you doing? How, you know, how it went for you and all of this. But then when she go upstairs to go to bed with Soulja, she don't want to sleep in the same bed with him. And he was like, what you doing, man? Why you on the phone? I'm hurt, bro. Like, why you sleeping over there? And she ain't really like answering him, and he was like, bro, why you always embarrassing me and shit, bro? I'm fed up. She was like, I'm fed up too. Stop fucking talking to me. And she started screaming at him, and he, you know, kind of like got up out the bed. Who the fuck you talking to? Now, I don't know what he's gonna do, and I hope he don't put his hands on her, because y'all know he the type of nigga that look like he tried to put his hands on you. But I will say this. In that moment, Neil was being the figure of a woman in his life that has caused all his pain. Somebody that don't give a fuck about the fact that right now he hurt. he broken. Just this morning she was talking about, I don't want him to be hurt, but right now he's hurt and you sitting in the other bed on your fucking phone and he like, why you sleeping over there? Like, you could hear it in his voice. There was a plea in there somewhere, and because he don't know how to express himself like a grown-ass man, he expresses himself like a little boy. And because she don't know how to give a fuck, because she's learned to not give a fuck so much, especially after everything that's been going on in their relationship, she couldn't give him what he needed back. And I was just like, yeah, I'm glad y'all broke up. I'm glad y'all broke up. And I really hope that Soulja gets some help, because I feel like Soulja need more help than Marriage Boot Camp can provide. I don't know if he'll ever be smart enough to go and get it, but I will say that I hope that he ends up with somebody, a woman, that will make him want to do right by her, because she's showing him so much love and so much affection and so much understanding. But I also hope that he's not the type to abuse her emotionally and mentally before he can figure that out. But child, we'll see. I hope he learned the lesson from this relationship with Nia. But y'all, this episode of Marriage Boot Camp was off the chain, bitch. I was emotional. I was crying. It was enjoyable, bitch. Okay, I was here for it. All right? But yeah, y'all, I'll be back with the Bondy Blue Show. I'll see y'all in the next one.